that leads right into a perfect discussion.
That's right.
I know you got a tea time, Duke, and it might be coming up and creeping up closer now that these words are about to come out of my mouth. We've been trying to figure out how the hell the Joey Burrow contract is going to look with the Cincinnati Bengals. Already been to a Super Bowl. Now, he didn't win an MVP yet, like Lamar Jackson has.
Nope.
Has been to a Super Bowl, right? Everybody on earth agrees he's the guy. Everybody on earth agrees he's the guy. He's perfect for your team. Everybody in Cincinnati loves him. He's from Ohio. There's other comps, I guess, you can use. Then there's the outlier that is in Cleveland that everybody is trying to bring up at all times. Then we hear Joe Burrow's involved in the contracts, and he understands he got to build a team. T. Higgins says he appreciates that Joe Burrow's in on the contract and understands that whole thing. Where are you in it? Will you talk at all about that situation with us? And have you had to do any exercises in salary cap gymnastics to kind of figure out how the future looks with Joe Burrow as your quarterback?
We look at a lot of different things, and thankfully Katie's on top of that one. She's the one that keeps us on track with the salary cap, not only for this year but for future years. And so everything we do, we're looking now, but these dollars count. If you're not counting them this year, you're going to count them next year or the year after. So every dollar that goes out counts. So it's a pie, and just how big of a piece of the pie. The only thing I can predict with the contract is it's going to be a sizable amount of money, and he's not going to be asking any of you for loans anytime soon. So
Okay, so we're paying a lot of money.
Yeah, here we go.
Okay.
He'll be paid well, and he's earned it. And what it looks like in its final state. There's more than just the Bengals and Joe. It's Joe's agent. It's the union. It's a lot of factors that are outside of us. That there's a lot of people that have interest in this, and Joe's great to work with, and I know Katie and his representation will get it worked out, and we'll go forward. But we plan on Joe Burrow being here a long time. He's the straw that's stirring it right now.
Hell yeah, and that environment in the jungle is
crazy,
awesome, and he's the perfect person for it because it feels like no moment is too big for him. I had a chance to see him at the SEC championship when Georgia was playing LSU. I think his junior year, I believe, obviously. Yeah.
Senior.
No, redshirt senior.
It might have been his, I don't remember. When he was balling. I went into the stadium early because we did game day and I had nowhere to hang out. So they let me in the stadium early and they were practicing all the camera shots. And the players had got there very, very early. This is a massive game. This is a huge. They had a tight shot on Joey's face for like 5 hours before the game, to about like 3 hours before the game, to about 2 hours before the game, to about 1 hour before the game. And there's nothing else for me to literally look at other than this fucking massive shot on him. I didn't see the guy sweat once, blink once. Every interaction he had with everybody was like a cool, clean dap. How you doing? Have a good one. I think like a janitor came over at one point that was cleaning up the field. How you doing? There was nothing. It's like, this is the coolest dude of all time. Then he gets in the NFL, same exact outcome. But you had to hate him getting murdered that first year, huh?
Yeah.
He proved how tough he was, though, Duke. You had to love that, I assume. Like, hey, you're tough. We get it. He got crushed, though. So I think we appreciate you investing in the offensive line to try to fix that. But did that ever scare you in that entire process when you started there?
Well, yeah. I mean, your quarterback getting hurt always scares you a little bit. That's not what you want. And Joe is the type of guy that never believes that the play's over, and believes that he can make something out of everything. And that's part of what makes him great, is that he doesn't give up on things. And so, we knew we had to fortify what was going on in front of him, and we think we've got a great group up there of guys who understand how he plays, and I think our coaches understand how he plays, and we've kind of come up with the Bengal offense with Joe Burrow, and it's just it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch him interact. One of the easier scouting assignments that we've had as an organization, because you couldn't walk around that LSU building without somebody telling you how great he was. You're in the cafeteria getting something to eat, and the cafeteria lady is telling you what a great guy he is, unsolicited. So some guys are really easy to scout. He was really easy to scout at LSU because everything they said was obvious.
Yeah, and he's only lived up to the hype somehow. Tough division, though. Go ahead, Tone.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin likes to say that it's hot in the kitchen in the AFC, and we talk to other GMs who, with in mind, they draft and they build their teams around the division with that in mind. Like, with the AFC North, how do you have to build your team to be first and foremost successful there in the division?
Well, our division never goes away, and we kind of keep wishing here in Cincinnati that it would, but the other teams are pretty darn good at what they do too. And Pittsburgh's not going away, and Baltimore's not going away, and Cleveland's got a lot of talented guys, and we've had a heck of a time beating them year over year. So it's a division that never just disappears, even though we might like some of the teams to disappear. But we've always felt like if you can win our division, you've got a team that can beat the other divisions. You got a team that can beat, that can win it all. If you're the AFC North champ, you got a team that's a contender for the Super Bowl. So, yeah, it's a physical division. You got to be big enough. You got to be man enough. You got to be able to stop the run. You've got to be able to play in inclement weather.
Yes,
the
worst.
You got to be able to play in hostile crowds. You've got to be able to slow down pass rush. There's always pass rush in our division. There's always just big, strong, physical man football, and it hasn't changed, and I don't see that changing as we go forward.
All four cities there said hell yeah. Because when you said hostile environments, that's interesting because those are all blue collar towns. So there's a lot of shit talking in all of those towns. And then the weather is the worst. That is the worst. Any kicker, shout out to your guy. He's Money Mac is an absolute dog. Has been as soon as he got in there. Huber had an incredible run over there. I don't know what the next is there at the punting position, but anyways, that is a nightmare of a division. Every year you got to sign up for that. November, December, it's going to be fucking miserable. That's how it's going to be. And also, they're going to be trying to run over your face. Man football in the AFC.
Great term.
I absolutely love that. Go ahead, AJ.
Duke, we hear people talk all the time. They say, "Oh, well, you can't pay everybody on a team, especially when you have a young team."
Duke
He
said
was talking, but
we didn't hear a word you said there. Do you look like we just glitched your entire screen? Did you say something there?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, you did! We missed it. That's me, AJ, not you, obviously. Go ahead,
That's
pal.
all right. I want to say, can you pay everybody now? With this, how you can kick the can down the road, how we can kind of craft these salaries, what they're doing year after year to kind of move money into bonuses. Is it like, can you really keep your core together nowadays with the salary cap?
Well, that's the hope, and we'll see how it goes. There's a mindset for this year, and there's a mindset for the future. And we're not giving up good players that we think can help us win this year because we might not be able to have them in the future. So you've got to balance both. One thing that has to happen is you got to count the dollars at some point. And we're not looking to disappear here in a couple of years because, we've done things that put us in a precarious spot. So we want to be mindful of this year. And we want to be mindful of the future. We want to keep as many good players as we can. We know there's, competition for them. When their contracts expire, they expire, and we have to be willing to replace them if we have to replace them. It's not the desire. We want the guys with life in their NFL career to finish here. We want guys to stay here and be part of our community, a part of our team, a part of our legacy long term. We want that. Doesn't always happen, but that's what we strive for.
Yeah, too much good. These are the type of problems that you kind of got to run into. How do you redevelop, replenish, and replace is certainly going to be a part of your legacy as it goes forward. Feels like you got Joey Burrow. Should be pretty okay.
Yeah.
Should be pretty okay, but a lot of incredibly talented pieces around there.
Yep.
And hearing you talk about having to pay it at some time and then also saying, just because we might not have a guy in the future doesn't mean I would want to get rid of him right now. I always get so confused when I hear, 2 years from now, his contract is up, so we don't have him next year. It's like, so we get that off our books, but we did pick up a third rounder. It's like, is that third rounder going to play as fucking good as DeAndre Hopkins is on the, do we not care about him play? We signed a contract to play football. Our team is worse without the person. Yeah, but we don't have to pay a deal 2 years from now. That is used as an excuse in some places, Duke. You know that.
Well, you're not the only one confused by statements like that, because I'm confused by that too. The goal is to win, and you win with the best players you can possibly have. And so we're not going to ship them out if they can help us win, early, just because we're trying to maximize something for the future. The future is now. And next year, the future will be that year. And the next year, the future will be that year.
Right.
And we're mindful of what's going on in coming seasons, but it's not driving our willingness to put the best team on the field this year. And so when we've got a young player that's producing, and somebody says, "Are you going to get rid of him?" The answer is normally hell no.
No, but dude, you don't want to have to pay them in 3 years. 3 years.
Fourth
You don't have
round
to pay.
pick.
That's what they say. And then they sell this to their fans. And their fans are like, we got that. Oh,
Yeah, that makes sense.
we don't have to do it. It's like, what, dude? What are we doing?